We are live and we are here. Good to see everybody. Thank you for joining us again. We're just gonna let it pile up a little bit here. I'm still trying to send out tweets and everything. Okay. That. Hit that like button as you come on in, please. That lets people know that you're enjoying the content. Whether you come here or you lurk or you don't, just come in here and hit that like button, man. We got a lot to talk about, even continuing from earlier today. If you missed it, we went live earlier today. We did an impromptu live stream to talk about this Xbox community reaction to what Satya had said last night during the annual, I guess it was the annual investors meeting or something like that. Because we had some people out there trying to play victim. They were definitely trying to play victim. They can't play victim. And just the sheer act of trying to do so, to me, is just absurd. So I felt like they needed to be called out. So we did that this morning, but now we're just gonna go over the news, laugh at some console fanboys some more, and try to break down the story that I came across from Windows Central that talks about the new Xbox strategy. It said we're gonna nail it down once and for all, says Jazz Gordon. Before we get into that, I got to check in with my brother. How you feeling, Cold Blood? How you doing, man?
Is it only me or
Uh-oh.
is it less green right now?
He said you just feeling less green.
Maybe it's just the winter, but I see less green outside. You know.
That's what it could be. Just a frostbite out there. Green's coming back, man. I promise you. I promise. It's
coming back, huh?
Yeah, it's only 4 days. It's only 4 days. It's only 4 games. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, these dudes, man, they crack me up. We said earlier today, yeah, we know the grifters. Like, they're still out there fishing for shit. Whatever. They're not getting any attention anymore. Except for the whiny babies that still want to try to hate on PlayStation. But opposite of that, anybody, their days are numbered. They're done. I just find it amusing that you actually have Xbox people that are trying to, again, play victim. Oh, Phil, how could you do this? Phil? You know, like they were oblivious to any of this could happen. Let's do this while we're waiting for people to pile in. Let's check out. Let's check out. Okay, is that the right one? Is this the right one? Not the right one. It's the right one. Let's check out the latest from our good friend Jamie's Act. Let's check out some Jamie's Act videos as we're waiting for people to come in. Where is the okay, Cold Blood can hear. All right, this one is from Destin. Destin seems a little perturbed, a little upset. Jamie shows his reaction to Destin saying this. He says, "This was my expression while watching this clip."
Like, if they announced this holiday season that Halo would be coming to PlayStation, I wouldn't even be surprised at this point. Like, if they announced this holiday season that Halo would be coming to PlayStation, I wouldn't even be surprised at this point.
Wow. Oh gosh. It's horrible. He said Xbox execs looked at console sales after COD and Indiana Jones and said, "We give up." His exclusives will be the exceptions rather than the rule. There goes some more. It says, it's coming. I knew it. So he knew it and was in denial the whole time. He needs Satya to make it even more clear. Perhaps Satya can write to him a personal email. So this dude, the Chaos Lounge, writes, if Satya wants to be a third party, he should just grow up here and say so. What do you want him to say it in Spanish, or you want him to say it in Chinese? What is it? What is he supposed to learn Vulcan and say it in Vulcan? I mean, what are you looking for? Chaos Lounge. Get the message firmly, or you know, Cold Blood had alluded earlier in the member stream. Do you guys want Phil to say? Does Phil need to say it, or do you guys really need to hear? Are you guys that oblivious? Do you guys really need to hear? Fuck you, Xbox fanboys. We don't care about you anymore. Suck a moldy nut. Is that what you need to hear? Is that what it's going to take for them to realize, hey, we took your money, we used it to fake you out like we were going to go exclusive, and we used it to do what we wanted to do, which is we just fly by the seat of our, seat of our chair and experiment. We use your money to experiment, and now we've landed on doing what it is that you don't want us to do. That's what it is.
Bro. Some of them are so brainwashed, they would probably say to you that's a great reason. At this point, nothing surprises me with these motherfuckers anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably would say, yeah, okay, I understand now. Okay, thank you, Satya, for that explanation. The fight continues on. Hold the line. Like, yeah, really? What do y'all want? I mean, listen to this. If Satya wants Xbox to be third party, he should just grow up here and say What is there to say? Fuck off and suck on some lead chips? Well, what is there to say? We continue on. Okay, this is he's making fun of Iron Lord podcast where they or the announcement.
No, Moss, actually,
you
know what they want them to say?
What's that?
They want them to say Xbox, the console is dead.
Yeah.
Exactly in that wording. Unless they say that they keep continuing to talk about new hardware and better console than the PlayStation and whatever. They will keep talking.
Yep.
Well, I don't know what is Boom saying about Satya saying.
I don't know. He might be quiet. Jamie don't have anything on Boom yet. But here goes.
Because if you want to hear a delusional ass take, then go to Boom's channel.
Yeah. Here goes.
Actually, I didn't hear from our second favorite bot, Hargeet. What happened to him?
No, I haven't heard. Yeah, he's been quiet as of late. I think the clips. He's realized. Okay, he hasn't been clipped recently. I think he's realized that maybe he's been fanatical. I miss Hargeet and his laugh. I miss Hargeet in his hyenic expressions. Satya telling them, yes, being an Xbox gamer now means that you're on multiple devices. What do you know? You're just a CEO. Like, yeah, I think he realized. Stop. Here goes Iron Lord's podcast reaction to Outer Worlds 2 being announced for PlayStation 5 at the reveal. Well, not this ain't the reveal, but the most recent trailer at the Game Awards.
Oh, you see how she threw the grenade?
Oh my God!
Xbox gonna have the craziest year next year.
Yo, don't not tell me they just did that.
Avowed, Fable, Doom, Midnight. It's a wrap.
Busy year next.
Oh, it's a wrap.
They better not have on PlayStation at the end of the show.
That's a Game of the Year nominee.
People of tact and vision and perspicacity.
Xbox 2025.
PS5 at the end.
PS5.
Oh, that's the break. That was the one. That was how they stuck it in. They said,
Please welcome the director of.
You know what? Maybe I'll play it now.
Winner of Game of
That's
the
how you get it. That's how you get rid of the tax.
Joseph Ferris.
Oh, dude, Twitter about to go crazy.
Oh, you see how she threw the grenade?
Oh my God!
Y'all, they were so excited. Oh, that you hate to kill.
Wait, did you hear that? Did you hear that?
What?
At the end, he was more concerned about it being crazy on Twitter than it's actually on PlayStation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, they got it. That's the real concern for them.
I told you
that they don't have nothing to brag about on Twitter. Once again,
hit the like button as you guys come in, please.
And it's gonna be all about how dog shit Xbox is again.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're most afraid of.
Put up a poll. Yes. Do you feel you think Xbox going third party is new info or old?
Actually, Moss,
Mm-hmm.
did you see about this project? What was it called?
Oh, the one for the UI, yeah, for the PC store.
No, it's a cross-platform thing, like
Mhm.
anything Xbox, like
Mhm.
wherever Xbox is,
Yeah.
it's gonna have a unified UI, I guess, or something.
Yeah.
I mean, if true, goddamn, they abandoned your ass so bad.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah.
They said your $500 ain't enough anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is when I knew that Xbox was in trouble. This generation is when Phil did the Fortune magazine interview. I urge you guys to listen to that interview. It's the Fortune magazine, Phil Spencer. And in that interview, Phil talks about, he's asked a question about the console. And, the interviewer says, hey, do you guys make any money off the console sales? And I think that's the most honest that Phil's ever been. Like, he gave a direct, very stern, nasty in a kind of sense, like agitated answer. Like, that's the most, I think, authentic. Like, you could really feel like, okay, this guy is not putting on a front or is not trying to play wordplay with you. He's giving you his authentic feeling. Like, even in the kind of funny interview, I feel like he was frustrated, but I don't think what he was saying was authentic from what he believed. I think he was frustrated because his plan was not working, and his last chance at redemption was Starfield, and he kind of like knew I'm just not good at this. This is not going to work out. I'm fucked. I think he knew that after Redfall going into Starfield. And that's why they staggered the reviews the way that they did. So, even then, I don't think people are like, oh, that's when Phil was telling the truth. Nah, he was letting you know that he was worried. He's letting you know that he kind of was backed up against the wall. He let you know that he was losing faith with the leadership, but he did not. I don't think he was 100% honest. I think he was honest in his Fortune magazine interview, and when he was asked, he was like, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. No. It's like he hated when you spoke of console, he hated it. He hated it. So Phil always hated the console. I don't think he had a problem with exclusives. I think he always wanted to have exclusives. You got to remember, before he was head of Xbox, Phil was promoted for a short stint to head of Worldwide Studios at Xbox. So it was his job to find exclusives for the platform. He's just not good at it. And when he said what he said about the console, it made me think, okay, well, he says he doesn't have to sell you a console. So what else is he going to lean on? PC isn't going to save the day for him. The Windows Store is trash. And even if they do sell games on Steam, they got to split 30% of that with Steam. And if I say, well, fuck the Xbox console, and I go over to Steam, they're losing money because I'm not buying stuff out of their marketplace anymore. I'm just buying their games out of Steam. I'm buying my multiplats and the DLC that goes with them on Steam, which Xbox gets no money for that. So then I said, okay, well, maybe they can make it up in the cloud. But then you look at the cloud, and like I said, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to mainstream adoption, like I know there are cloud gamers who feel disenfranchised from the console, and so therefore there are some niche things that they are okay with and that they look for that the atypical mainstream gamer is not looking for. So, they may rank xCloud better than this, but speaking on behalf of the mainstream gamer, xCloud is the worst. It's the worst option. Even with a la carte games, it's the worst option. Why? Because there's nothing to even discuss if your platform performs worse than your worst console. Like xCloud doesn't feel as good as the Series S. And the Series S is a problem now for a number of gamers, particularly ones with the Series X. So if this cloud gaming doesn't work as good as your Series S, then I'm sorry. People are not going to say, oh, well, I get to do this on. They don't care about the novelty of the tech. Gamers don't care about that. Like I said, gamers are some of the average gamer is of the least technically inclined consumer of tech goods out there. Like they're a tech goods consumer, but they don't be knowing about the ins and outs of it. They don't care about the technical variety that it includes. They want to be able to sit somewhere, play a game, and they want to know that they're doing it in a great way in comparison to the options they have out there. So they don't get all creamy knuckle when you tell the average gamer, oh, you can do this off a Fire Stick. And how well is it compared to my console? That's like if the latest action movie comes out, and say you're an action buff, right? And the latest action movie comes out, and you're used to every time that movie comes out, you sit in IMAX, you want the best visuals, you want it to blow you away, best audio, and someone says, you don't have to go to IMAX and watch that, right? Like you can watch it. I got this flip phone for you. There's this 2005 flip phone that I have. You can watch it here. I got a way you can watch it here. They're going to look at you and say, I don't care about the flexibility of being able to watch it on the 2005 flip phone. I want all the bells and whistles that come with it. And so even though gamers on average may not want all of the bells and whistles, they draw a fine line. And unfortunately, Xbox Cloud Gaming doesn't cross that. It's behind that line that they draw. Then you got to deal with the fact that, look, even with NVIDIA GeForce Now, there's barriers. Like, there's internet barriers for certain gamers. Like, cloud gaming gets tagged negatively out of ignorance. Like, because, in order for you to have a good cloud experience, all you need is 15 megabits. All you need is enough internet that it takes to play a decent game of Fortnite. That's all you need. But there are a lot of gamers that don't even have that. A lot of them are out in the Midwest. They don't even have that. They got to go and take their console to the nearest GameStop in order to download an update. But even beyond that, NVIDIA GeForce Now doesn't give you everything that its counterpart, the PC games, gives you as far as mods are concerned. Right? And then there's the biggest problem with cloud gaming altogether as far as acceptability from the mainstream. Look, we just saw Stadia shut down and all those games that were on that platform go away. Now, granted, the developers gave people vouchers and did all types of shit to make sure people could get a lot of those games on other platforms. Microsoft ain't doing that. Let's just say if Microsoft says, you know what, right now, because of the cost of the infrastructure, because of our lack of adoption, we are now pausing our cloud initiative. We're pausing it. And they start shutting down servers. Like, we'll let you play for the rest of the year, and then this is going away indefinitely. And let's just say you're not a console gamer. Let's just say if you were one of the ones that was like, oh, this is cool, I can play this on my Fire Stick, and you bought a Fire Stick, and then you started buying games to play on the cloud. You are now forced. I mean, your games ain't gone, but you're now forced to go get a console, the thing that you were trying to avoid in the first place. And then shit, who's to say that the console's still going to be around, cold blood? Microsoft says a bunch of stuff. Microsoft just told you at the beginning of the year, at the end of the year, they're going to talk about the largest technical leap. Where's it at? Where is it at?
I was like, why the pause? Did you expect me to say something?
No, no. No, I'm doing this poll. This is new news. I just realized new info. All right, start the poll. Okay. So we got the poll here. Do you think Xbox going third party is new info or old news? Chalk, this is new info. We knew this last year. Let us know in the poll. But you were supposed to hear about the largest technical leap. And where's that information at? Where's it at? And even if it's still, hear me out, y'all. Y'all are getting creamy knuckled over dreams and wishes, man. Like, how long is it going to take for you to get clonked over the head for you to realize I'm getting taken advantage of? Let's just say, in best case scenario for Xbox, well, best case would be still, they still got what, 2 weeks to say something. Let's just say they keep their promise and they say something before December, which I doubt, right? Most likely best case scenario. Let's just say if they say something early 2025, okay? And they do show you whatever this thing is that they're going to roll out. Every time Xbox does something, do you realize one or two things happen? It either gets delayed or it never comes out. Everything that they do. Now, they had to release the console. When they say they have to, you have to meet those obligations because people pre-order. But everything Xbox does that's supposed to be groundbreaking, it either gets delayed or it never happens. Why are y'all still with them? Why do you, we need one more like, y'all. Why are y'all still with them? Do you guys bask in incompetence? Do you feel more comfortable being surrounded by and buying from incompetent entities? Blake McManaman, it's a messaging problem. I guess so. I'm just trying to understand. Do you guys like being fooled? Everything that they tell you doesn't come out or is delayed at best. Everything they tell you. I've never seen this level of incompetence from anybody. From former Xbox execs. Everything they tell you either doesn't come out or it's delayed. Everything they tell you does not come out or it's delayed. What is it? Do you guys not have any friends? We'll be your friend. Cole, are you willing to be some bot's friend? Will you be like a big brother to a bot or something like that? Is that it? Is that what it is? You guys need some friends? Shit, look in the description. Get our Discord. Join our Discord. We'll be your friends. What is it? Thank you for hitting the like button, getting us over 10. Can you guys help us understand? I'm truly perplexed. Yeah, you can point at Nintendo. You can definitely point at PlayStation. You can point at this one, point at that one where there's fuck ups. But every single thing that they tell you either gets delayed or doesn't happen. That's why I attack Xbox. Because they, at this point in time, it's not just incompetence, it's lying to you. They're lying to you. Look, here's Satya. You need to hear him again?
So our
do you
strategy...
need to let's play what Satya said one more time for those of you, and for our good friend, I forgot what his fucking name was that needs Satya to spell it out for him. Let's play it again.
And so we said, let's take that
play it a
joy
couple
of
times.
gaming everywhere. And that's why even these ads with Xbox Now, where we are redefining what it means to be an Xbox fan, it's about being able to enjoy Xbox on all your devices. So our strategy with Activision content now is in full force. We feel fantastic about the progress we've made. And more importantly, I think on long term, as a company, we can bring the best of AI innovation, cloud innovation, console innovation, PC innovation to build the best games that can be enjoyed by gamers everywhere. And so we said, let's take
Just listen to it one more time.
that joy of gaming everywhere. And that's why even these ads with Xbox Now, where we are redefining what it means to be an Xbox fan, it's about being able to enjoy Xbox on all your devices. So our strategy with Activision content now is in full force. We feel fantastic about the progress we've made. And more importantly, I think on long term, as a company, we can bring the best of AI innovation, cloud innovation, console innovation, PC innovation to build the best games that can be enjoyed by gamers everywhere. And so we said, let's.
All right. So let's think about this. This dude who is not a gamer, he didn't just give you the new Xbox Vision. He told you, the non-gamer told you what an Xbox fan is about. People may hear that and say, oh, that's so tone deaf of Satya. No, it's not tone deaf. It is you can stay. The rest of you motherfuckers, get the fuck out of my house. I don't need you. I don't want you. You're a cloud gamer. You're a PC gamer. If you're someone that has wet dreams about Phil giving you golden showers and dumping on your chest, you stay. Just don't touch me. You stay, you weirdos. The rest of you, get the fuck out of my house. And my cloud and PC people, I can't talk to the people that want the golden showers and get dumps on their chest, but my cloud and PC people, here's what I gotta ask you. You may in the back of your mind say, well, I don't give a fuck about consoles. I don't care, MM. So MM, I get what you're saying, and I think you're a little too harsh, but it doesn't bother me. Think about this, y'all. Think about this. This is why I don't understand how you guys don't see this from 5,000 feet, while this should make all of you nervous. Console gaming right now is Xbox's #1 business. It is. It's not cloud, it's not PC. Most of their money is made off of the sales of the games from their marketplace, even though they're not doing the greatest because they're not selling consoles in order to give you access to their marketplace. And nobody gives a fuck about the Windows Store. But the sales on their marketplace, where people buy games, right? The tier of Game Pass that formerly was Xbox Live, and those Game Pass tiers that are tethered to the console, those create the most amount of money for Xbox. Most of Xbox's money is derived from console activity. Clearly. You can say what you want about, well, consoles aren't the future. Well, the future isn't now. And PlayStation, Nintendo, everybody's prepping themselves for the potentiality of the future. PlayStation has a cloud service that shits all over Xbox, shits in their mouth, pisses in their face for a pick-me-up. It destroys Xbox. Nintendo, even Nintendo, who don't want, you can't deal with their marketplace anywhere but a Nintendo device. Even Nintendo has signed a deal with a Google-supported cloud provider, so they're prepped and primed for the future. when the future happens. Even NVIDIA with the ultra impressive from a cloud standpoint, the ultra impressive GeForce Now Ultimate, even they will tell you, and this is not NDA or anything because they said this is common news. You can tell them, NVIDIA's number one business when it comes to gaming is hardware. They don't look at cloud as big as hardware. Hardware, AI is number one, but when you take out everything and just focus on gaming, hardware is number one. But they really do care, and they do have concern about cloud gaming, and they want to be primed for the future. So that's why they're doing what they're doing in the cloud. See, it's not like Xbox is the only one in this scenario where they got to keep an eye out for the potentiality of the cloud. They're not the only ones. But they're the only idiots that are forsaking their current business for something that hasn't been sustained yet. Nobody else is doing it. Like, you can understand Google going cloud first because they had no hardware business. You can understand Amazon going cloud first. They had no hardware business. But even let's look at Amazon Luna. Amazon developed 2 games. Was that New World and I forgot the other game. Guess where they're not? Guess where you can't get those games at? Guess where they're not? They're not on Amazon Luna. They're on GeForce Now because you have to buy them from a PC store, and you can use the GeForce Now service to play them in the cloud. But even Amazon's like, we're not going to forsake our main business. We're not going to cannibalize our main business to support the cloud. We're going to have to gradually grow the cloud while doing what keeps the lights on. And here's the danger about Microsoft owning Xbox. This bald-headed mofo right here, he don't care about gaming at all. But Moss, he spent 80 billion, 100 billion. That wasn't for gaming. That was so he could monopolize cloud activity. And I already been through this before. I'm not going to go through the rigors again. You got to check out the members' content. I might do a rehash of it in the members' content. But when he came across this scenario during the pandemic or right before the pandemic, when Azure cloud activity was so close to officially closing the gap between Azure and AWS for a particular quarter, and it didn't happen. But people were like, damn, you're close. They celebrated until they discovered that that Azure was mainly behind still because Minecraft that they had just purchased still had elements of it on AWS. Then people turned on Satya like, hold on, because there's a whole group of investors out there that they put so much money into Azure or into Microsoft because they're waiting for the day that Azure takes over AWS as far as earnings and activity, because then that will skyrocket Microsoft stock. They're just waiting for that day. If you're in a Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, like you invest in XRP or Ethereum, and you put a whole bunch of money and you're waiting, or when the Doji craze was happening and people was expecting Elon Musk to say something about Doji on Saturday Night Live and he didn't, and everybody was pissed off. That's the same thing that happened with Satya. When they found out that he still had Minecraft activity on AWS, investors got mad. And then that's when it woke up something in Satya about gaming. This is more important than I thought it was. They closed down Mixer, and then they started buying big shit. The moment that happened, He sent Phil out there, Phil Spencer out there. That's when Phil started talking about, we can't trust Amazon and Google and Facebook. He did that in January because all this shit happened in like 2018 with Minecraft. January 2019, this motherfucker comes out. I can't. Oh yeah, you can't trust them. Then a couple of months later, they close Mixer. Like, we're not putting any more money in that. They close Mixer. Later on in that year, what the fuck do? They buy Bethesda. Satya went on a tear since then. That's when he started writing those big, because he realized how important cloud gaming was to his overall cloud expectations and desires. It started with Bethesda. Bethesda was a key partner to Google. That fucking crushed Google's spirit when he did that in a lot of ways. That was just the beginning of the end. ABK not only sealed the deal for Google, but it sent shockwaves through all of cloud gaming, and it made Microsoft send a message to everybody: we will be the kings of the cloud everywhere. Because whoever owns Call of Duty, if you scoop that up and you make that exclusive on the cloud, nobody can compete with you on the cloud. And like I said, I have it on good authority that the word from Microsoft when they were doing these deals was they wanted their cloud competitors, mainly Google and Amazon, mainly Google, to say, why bother? Why bother? That was what they wanted. They wanted them to bend the knee and say, why bother? So for those of you Mensa candidates that think, he spent $100 billion on gaming, this motherfucker don't care about gaming. He cares about cloud. That's why they fought so hard. They gave 10-year deals to Nintendo and PlayStation because they didn't care about that when it came to Call of Duty. Phil was trying to play some shit, but Satya stepped out. Man, we don't. And the president, he's sitting right there. They stepped in. We don't give a fuck about PlayStation and Nintendo for this purchase. Don't get it twisted, Phil. This is about cloud. Then when they started making their cloud concessions, they made the cloud concessions to all these little rinky-dink cloud competitors. And nothing against Boosteroid. But Boosteroid was a real small indie cloud. They have a great product. But notice how they didn't say anything to Amazon. They didn't offer Amazon nothing. It wasn't until the CMA stepped in and forced the cloud rights to Ubisoft did Amazon benefit from the ABK deal. Because again, the main competitors are Amazon and Google. They already made Google bend the knee. They wanted Amazon to be next in the cloud. And they definitely don't want to give anything to Amazon because they're trying to chase AWS. So Xbox, again, to my PC and my cloud people who I get on the surface, y'all may say, well, Moss, okay, I'm gonna shed a tear, I'm gonna pour out some liquor for the console people. I gotta be honest with you, Moss. I really don't give a fuck about them. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I don't give a fuck about them console peasants. I don't give a fuck. I'm a cloud dude. I hate hardware. Hardware sucks ass. It sucks shitty ass. You know, PC master race people. We are the PC master race. Let's upgrade my processor. Fuck console, right? Think of this. This is what I want y'all to think, and particularly my cloud people want you to think. If Microsoft is willing right now, when everybody else is like, look, we're cognizant of the cloud and we're making investments in the cloud. I don't even know if anybody's making more investments in the cloud than GeForce Now Ultimate with all that, the super pods and all that other shit. And even they are saying hardware is number one for us. And Xbox can't touch them. Even NVIDIA and everybody surrounding that are cognizant of the cloud, nobody is saying we're going to forsake what's keeping our lights on now. Microsoft is willing to do that. What if they're willing to do that to the people that make up the bulk of their revenue now? What makes you think they're not going to shut shit down if things don't go their way with y'all? Think about it. We don't know. Look, NASDAQ has projected that cloud gaming will not even surpass more than 7% of gaming activity in 2027, 2 years from now, just about. It still will be less than 10% of the gaming experience. These are the people that have been watching this, the analysts that have been watching this. This is what they're saying. This is a long time coming. Microsoft is trying to force a win against these projections with subpar quality, with a subpar product. What makes you think that if Microsoft is willing to pull the plug on its main gaming business now, which is on the console, that if things don't go right, and they're only pulling the plug because shit's not going right there? What makes you think, and look, and then it's not going right because they're not willing to make the investments in quality to make it go right. Satya doesn't think it's worth it. They just want to whip out product. They don't give a fuck about quality studios and all that other shit. They just want studios, competent studios that can whip out shit at a certain cadence. That's all they care about. What makes you think that if they're not willing to invest in quality for the thing that is their main business now, that they're not just going to make some nominal expansions on the cloud, make some nominal expansions on their PC store, not do anything competent as far as quality is concerned, and then when it doesn't work, they just sit there and say, fuck it, it's over with. We're done here too. We're just gonna ship games. Now, if you're a PC dude, it might not be too cumbersome. If you're a Steam dude, if you're a Steam person, might not be too cumbersome. Then, you know, even in worst case scenario, they still are going to sell games on Steam. Okay. That's if you're a Steam guy, which most of you are. But my cloud people got to be worried too. If they don't start pronouncing some serious quantitative enhancements to their end users, you are at risk just as much as the console people. You just are. That's a reality. You may want to look over it. You may want to feel like that Phil is a great guy and he would never do that. Let's just say if things work that way, Phil clearly is not in control anymore. He's clearly not in control. Look at his face. His face is morphed more than the Power Rangers. Look at his face. Look at him at the Game Awards. Look at him at Comic-Con. Look at him when he was sitting with Bloomberg. Look at his face. He's not in control anymore. This guy on the screen is. This guy on the screen is not a gamer. This guy on the screen cares about culture as much as he cares about a fly on the wall. You know what this guy, you know what everybody in those chairs care about? We just spent $100 billion to boost up our cloud activity. And now we got to share all these games with these cloud people. So it was a waste. We got to get this money back. That's all they care about. We got to get this money back. and showing too much dedication to the console just restrains us too much in order to get this money back. That's simply it. The console sales are dropping like flies. They have no more, they're not selling any more consoles. Like, and I saw somebody try to make a comparison. Well, the consoles are dropping everywhere. Look, PlayStation consoles are dropping from record highs. That's different from the consoles at Xbox dropping from already previous record lows. I mean, they're going on pace to be one of the worst selling Xboxes ever, even on par with the OG. And the OG, you know, of course, the OG was going to get slobber knocker. But yeah, you guys need to think about this thoroughly before you put too much trust into really think about this. Xbox's console activity is what keeps the lights on. They are willing to ditch them. Even now. That's dangerous to me. You know what that says to me? That says, fuck it. Fuck it. We are going to hit the reset button. We're willing to hit the reset button massively. Because this thing ain't that important to us. We got to get this money back though. But this thing is not that important to us. So our current audience, take what we're giving, take the scraps that we're giving you now or leave. Yeah, we sold you a box for $500. We told you it was the most powerful console out there. We told you that the tools were coming. Oh, well, we fucking lied to you. So what? We told you that the Series S, we got a phase 2 for the Series S, like as to make sure that games don't get bottlenecked, you know, on the Series S, therefore affecting the Series X. We're going to convert the Series S into a stream box eventually. Okay, we fucking lied to you there too. That says to me that Xbox as a gaming department isn't that important. That what supersedes anything else right now is getting that $100 billion back. Because that $100 billion was a play to wrap up cloud activity everywhere. So we're in business to business cloud. We may be falling behind AWS, but look, we got the biggest game in the world in the cloud now. Call of Duty. That could be the thing that throws us over the top. The Skyrim game is coming too. That could throw us over the top. And look, even though, and I'll say this and then we'll move off from the cloud and we're going to go over this Windows Central article. We're going to break that down. I will say this, even though Microsoft had to, you know, pimp out its catalog, its cloud catalog because of the CMA, it's still a victory for them in regards to their cloud competitors. Why? Because I have it on good authority that before Microsoft bought ABK, the deal between ABK or Call of Duty and Google Cloud was massive. I heard it potentially was like a top 3 business for Google, period. Or maybe a top 3 client, but it's, you know, it was top for Google, like massive. They probably are going to let that contract die out for another year or so, but when that contract gets renegotiated, that's huge business that Google's going to miss out on. That will, again, help out Azure in the cloud. Because what it was a partnership for Google Cloud, Call of Duty. There's a lot of cloud elements that are built into Call of Duty. You guys may not realize that, but there's a lot of cloud, cloud technology that's in, yes, the Call of Duty that you play natively. Remember, you're playing it online. There's a lot of cloud integration in there, and that's being powered by Google Cloud. They're going to lose that business. They're likely going to lose it sooner than they expected because now they got purchased by a new entity, and they probably, that new entity, Microsoft, probably will be allowed to say, oh, no, as of next year, you're no longer on Google Cloud. That's going to be a huge momentum shift. That's going to be a hurt piece to Google, who's already third behind AWS and Azure, and it's going to bolster up Azure even further. That's why I said, do not believe this was a play for gaming. It just happened. If it would have landed the way they wanted it to land, it was just so happens that it would have benefited gaming a lot had it worked out the way that he wanted it to work out. But this was not for gaming at all. Well, I wouldn't say at all, but it wasn't for gaming primarily. Okay, anyway, let's move on from that. Let's talk about I want to talk about this Windows Central. Oh yeah, let me set up the goal. I forgot to set up the goal. If we do again, if we do 10 I'll give 5 members. I'll gift 5 members. So if we do if we do 10 super chats of $2 denomination or higher, I will give 5 members. Okay. All right, so let's do this. Oh, one more thing too I want to show you guys. I thought this was interesting. Because I was looking at some data. So this is something that I came across because ESA put out their annual report for gaming. Definitely look for that and check that out. But they're showing you all the 2023 activity for the US. So in 2023, there was a total of $57.2 billion spent on gaming. $48 billion was on content. $6.6 billion was on hardware. And $2.6 billion was on accessories. That's just in one fucking year. And here are the top 10 games. On the left here, here's the top 10 games. And it says the US video game industry generated and supported more than $101 billion in total economic impacts. It contributed nearly $66 billion to the US GDP in 2023. That's crazy. So gaming, I believe, could pay for Social Security, which is one of our highest national debts. I believe. I could be way off, but I think the last time I checked the annual national debt for Social Security was $66 billion. Here are the top 10 games as of 2023 as far as grossing that made the most money in 2023. Number 1 is Hogwarts Legacy. Number 2 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Number 3 is Madden NFL 24. Check out number 4 and number 5. Number 4, get this cold blood. Number 4 is the godforsaken flop that was Marvel Spider-Man 2. What? Yeah. Marvel Spider-Man 2 that was only on one console That when did Marvel Spider-Man 2 come out cold blood? What, September? Or October?
Yeah.
When? Okay. That was only out for 3 months on one console, or no, 4 months on one console, was the 4th best-selling game last year on consoles and PC.
I mean, now they're gonna say, of course, it's Spider-Man. What did you expect?
But PlayStation gamers don't play games. Remember, we ain't playing these games. Spider-Man was a flop, right? Remember? It was a flop. Next up is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That's number 5. That was only available on the Switch. Number 6 is Diablo. Number 7 is Modern Warfare 2. Number 8 is Mortal Kombat. Number 9 is Star Wars Jedi. And number 10 is EA Sports FC 24. Remember when they were trying to tell us, oh, Starfield was so big and bad, even though it was on Game Pass, it was a success. Where's it at on this list? Where's it at on this list? It could have been on this list if it was a multiplat, but that's here to tell you that even doing day and date PC, that doesn't guarantee you success with your content. You have to just simply make good games. That's it. Make good games, people will come. Marvel Spider-Man 2, just on one platform. The Legend of Zelda on one platform. There is no Xbox, even console exclusive. There's not even one Xbox console exclusive that has the backing of PC. Like Starfield isn't even here. Starfield isn't here. You want to know another thing? This shows you the power of the PlayStation marketplace and why PlayStation is making so much money. Every single game on this list, except for one, can all be played on PlayStation. Every single game, except for The Legend of Zelda. So this whole thing that, exclusives are doing horrible. That's baloney. Exclusives are doing horrible. Exclusives are doing their job. They're doing exactly what people need them to do. That do them well. Microsoft just doesn't do them well. And instead of trying to do them well, what Microsoft decided to do is they tried to flip the industry up on its head. And they tried to say, well, we'll just buy out the industry. Like I was listening to something from Paris, and he was talking about back from the XCast days where he was talking about how hold on, matter of fact, let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, it was from Oliver Darko. I'm pretty sure it was from Oliver Darko, right? Oh, yep, here it goes. Here it goes. I believe it was. This was it. Right. I think this is it. Okay. All right, we're gonna play this right here. This is from Paris. This is rather lengthy though, but I want y'all to listen to the stuff that Paris is saying. This is from the Kind of Funny Xcast, where Paris is giving you this expectation all of a sudden that he's saying that Xbox is going to do. This is their strategy. So if you don't like, suck it. If you don't believe him, right? Here we go. So listen to this. Here we go.
So, Gary, I'm with you on everything that you said, but I am going to push back a little bit on one thing. You said that it's still kind of up in the air. Like, again, I agree with you. If you're an Xbox gamer, none of this matters to you. You're good. Game Pass, all that, all these games are coming. It's not even a question. But I do feel that Phil Spencer was pretty definitive to the non-quote-unquote Xbox gamer on setting an expectation. The expectation is, unless there's a contract saying that I got to put that game on PlayStation, it ain't happening. That's what he basically told you in that. And I feel like he 90% got there, but that 10% wiggle room when he said legacy. And I'm telling you, I had to go listen to this thing like 5 or 6 times to make sure I understood 100% what he meant. He was talking about it in a contractual way, because he talks about contractual, he goes, or, you know, maybe legacy, something like that. In other words, he's not talking about, well, Fallout 3 exists on PlayStation. Of course it does. That's not going anywhere. But Fallout 5, when that comes, it's not coming to PlayStation unless there's a contract saying it has to come to PlayStation. That was the point he was trying to make. When he says legacy, I took that more as, hey, maybe there's something fun we could do. Maybe there's a remake to an old game. Sure, we'll still put that on the platform that it already existed on. But what he is telling you, whether it's a franchise or a brand new IP, any new game, unless Bethesda already made a deal for it, will not show up on a PlayStation or Nintendo platform unless we decide to do so. And chances are we won't, because what was the last thing he said? These games will exist where Game Pass lives, and Game Pass does not live on a PlayStation or Nintendo platform. And that's kind of what I've been saying since September, that this is their plan. You don't spend that amount of money to not be completely disruptive, because they're trying to add value to Game Pass. This is how you add value to Game Pass. And then one other thing, think about Starfield. Obviously, that's the hot button new IP topic, which we'll probably find out more about at whatever the summer event to be, right? Because I said this on Kind of Funny Daily, because Greg brought it up. If Starfield was going to be on a PlayStation, if there was some contract that said that Starfield was going to be on PlayStation, guess who would have announced that this week? PlayStation. Jim Ryan would have told you that already. They would let you know, hey, no, we have a deal in place. You don't have to worry. Whenever Starfield is going to be available, it'll show up on that platform. But if you notice the comments Jim Ryan is saying, he was like, hey, we want to doing 2 on all their IPs, because they don't know either. The only guarantees that we know right now are going to be Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop, because those are known entities that will show up. And Phil Spencer said, we will honor all our obligations. But beyond that, you're taking all of it to Game Pass. So that means it shows up on Xbox hardware, it shows up on the PC, it shows up on xCloud, which means mobile devices, and eventually TV apps. That's where these games are going to live. And this is the disruption that they're trying to make. Because I'll go back again. What has been the perception of Xbox the past 7 or 8 years? They don't have games. They don't have big AAA experiences. Well, guess what? They just got a publisher that does. That's the whole point of this. That's why they did this. They did not do this to keep things the same. They did not do this to not hurt the feelings of someone who doesn't play on Xbox. They can't worry about that. If anything, they're trying to incentivize those people that don't play games on Xbox to now come to Xbox. And you do that by giving them compelling games to play. That's the whole point of all of this.
Okay. So many things to address about this. First and foremost, what did he say earlier here? Because there's a couple of things.
A little bit on one thing.
Let me just listen to this one more time.
You said that it's still kind of up in the air. Like, again, I agree with you. If you're an Xbox gamer, none of this matters to you. You're good. Game Pass, all that, all these games are coming. It's not even a question. But I do feel that Phil Spencer was pretty definitive to the non-quote-unquote Xbox.
All right. So here's what I want to address. This is why I caution you guys in who you listen to. And I always tell you guys to try to practice training your regiment, your listening regiment, in a portfolio of stuff that you listen to try to be more geared towards edutainment. What do I mean by edutainment? There's nothing wrong with being entertained, but don't just listen to a bunch of drama and people yelling and people sounding like they're smart. Actually listen to people who are connected, hands-on, not connected as in, oh, I have a friend that has a friend that does this. I'm talking about connected as in a developer, a publisher, someone within the industry that used to develop games, stuff like that. Make sure you are connected into your educational part of this, because you're going to get a bunch of word salad. Otherwise, that doesn't make any sense. I want to address two things. I want to address what he said about why, about the Bethesda deal being about Xbox bringing great games to Xbox gamers. And then I want to talk about his whole interpretation of what he thought legacy meant and, why all of that ended up becoming wrong. First and foremost, you got a bunch of word salad from Paris back then, because he was on the Paris, I'm an influencer, meaning I'm going to toe the line for a corporate entity and help influence you in a favorable way for them. That's what an influencer is. Legacy, when you do this as a living like I do, when you deal with acquisitions and mergers, the term legacy means pre-business change, meaning say Cold Blood got a business and he absorbs MM2K LLC. Everything that we used to do before, and then after we absorbed MM2K LLC, we become Cold Blood Incorporated. Everything that we used to do, branding, whatever practices, rules, regulations that we followed, handbook, all that's considered legacy. That's why sometimes after an acquisition, you'll see the letter L dash and then the corporate code or the corporate symbol. That's what legacy means. So what he's saying is, look, any legacy activity that Bethesda did on a particular console, like their service games, like if it's a service game, they're not going to yank any game off of a platform. Any game that they did which was legacy, they'll continue to honor. Will they continue to honor anything after the legacy stuff? Phil didn't want to, but as you can see, the executives were all over the place. So when you hear the term legacy, it was he took it in the wrong way. Legacy meant any activity that they had beforehand. It has nothing to do with contractual, because when a company is absorbed, you can rip up that contract and say, we're not doing this anymore. Like when BioWare was absorbed by EA, they were like, okay, Mass Effect 2 will be timed exclusive because we want to just focus on your console right now, and we need time to get ready with PlayStation 3. But this is not going to remain exclusive anymore. Like once we release Mass Effect 2 on PlayStation 3, Mass Effect 3 will be day and date on PlayStation 3. Because they ripped up that contract, even though Microsoft in advance had a contract with BioWare for the entire Mass Effect series to be exclusive. EA bought them out. That was null and void. That's what legacy means. So again, it's important to understand that you'll get a lot of word salad from people. They don't come up with the correct business terminology, and that's where you get befuddled and confused because they make shit up. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. Let me get to the super chat right now. Paris, hold on 1 second. Paris says Navanor, Paris buys single ply so his fingers. Y'all need to stop that shit. Paris buys single ply so his fingers can go through. Y'all need help. What was it? Oh, this whole thing was about Xbox. And people said that Xbox didn't have any games. And this was about Xbox bringing games to Xbox players. Okay. You have a multitude of Xbox players. You have Xbox players that play on Game Pass. You have Xbox players that buy their games. You have Xbox players that may do a little bit of both. Because everybody that has an Xbox does not have Game Pass. Just so you guys are aware. Between PC and the two consoles where Game Pass is available, which is the Xbox One and the Xbox, what's it called? There are 35 million, there are about 35 million Game Pass subscribers, right? Probably not that, anywhere between 35 million. There are 60 million Xbox Ones out there. And then there's another 29 million Series, right? So that's like, 90 million consoles out there? Now, granted, some may have converted over, but still. We know all 60 didn't convert over. All 60 million Xbox One owners didn't convert over. So we got 60 and 30, and then we got whoever's out on PC Game. So everybody does not have PC Game Pass that has an Xbox. You could make the argument that most people that are in the Xbox ecosystem altogether don't have Game Pass. It's fair to say, I believe, that the majority of Xbox Series owners, I would argue maybe like 60% plus, have Game Pass. Yeah. But Game Pass isn't as huge on the remaining Xbox One players. It's not as, it's seen some growth on PC. But everybody that indulges in an Xbox property does not have Xbox Game Pass. So, with that being said, by buying Bethesda and pretty much just absorbing games that were coming to Xbox anyway, what did you give the majority of your consumers? You didn't think about that. Again, I repeat, what did you give the majority of your consumers who don't have Game Pass, who were already getting these Bethesda games? What were you giving them? You see how that rhetoric just doesn't settle well? It just doesn't make sense. And you got to watch these influencers, right? Because again, they just do what their titles say that they do. They just influence. I want to find Jez Gordon's article about what they're going to do with here it goes right here. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, there it goes. All right. Now he says here, to clarify, in a new interview, Satya takes shots at Google over its search dominance. Nobody cares. Okay. So let's look at, to clarify, everybody likes Xbox everywhere. The reality, Xbox isn't everywhere. 99% of Xbox games are stuck on Xbox consoles. Now, this is true from Jez Gordon. Shit. This is true. The logical reaction, customers only ask Microsoft to try to maintain the viability of the ecosystem that it locked them into. Like, there was something from Colt Eastwood that he put out here earlier, right? And I do want to show you guys that too before we get into this article. I never bookmarked the stuff that I should be bookmarked. There it goes. All right. So I want to show this to you guys. So I think this was from Oliver Darko too. Was this from Oliver Darko? No, Retro the Family Man Gamer. he got a couple of laughing emojis, and he's looking at what Colt put out here. So this was after Tom Warren had cited what Satya Nadella said. And Colt had said, this is exactly what they've been saying for years. Xbox wants you to be able to buy a game and play it on your devices whenever, wherever, just like we do with our movies, TVs, and music. This statement isn't really addressing their games on PlayStation approach at all. So then it shows that Colt is getting into a back and forth with a gamer. Like, it becomes evident how short-sighted that comment was. We'll talk about it at the back end. He says, they will. By the way, if you decide to move to PC, you don't have to worry about drivers. That stopped in early 2000s. He says, so this person, Gravy Stone, says, well, what about when I move to PC and have my library won't carry over from a console? He says, nope, most games won't. He says, yeah, so it sounds like the whole Xbox is everything doesn't benefit the people who supported Xbox the most. I don't see how this strategy wins in the long run. Colt Eastwood says, remember, ask yourself, what are you losing? And the guy responds, sounds like my library of games. So I respond here. I said, yeah, Colt is missing the point here. Most of the games people purchased are not Xbox games. They are multi-plat. They're not going to get double entitlements on PC. So yes, they will lose their library. And I think this is what Jazz is pointing to. Like, you could do this Xbox everywhere, but if I went and bought a game on the Xbox console, if I bought, what's the game, y'all? If I bought Dragon's Dogma 2 on an Xbox console, and you guys are lacking support on the console, so therefore I want to get my games elsewhere. You know, a lot of people don't want to have multiple platforms, or they just spend $500 on this thing right here. Like, well, shit, I'd rather go to PlayStation, or I might rather go to PC. But how am I going to access my old games? So it's not Xbox everywhere. And here's the dynamic. When you don't support the console, or when you don't have a high saturation rate because you don't support the console, then developers look at developing for you. They look at the porting costs, and they say it's not worth it. And look, we know Sony is running around like madmen with the pocketbooks open. Make this exclusive. Make this exclusive. Makes this exclusive. They just mentioned that they opened, you know, they made more investments to buy up exclusive games. So you can have a game that you ain't got no intentions of bringing to Xbox. No intentions. Sony couldn't look, polish that motherfucker up. Let that motherfucker look good. Here comes Sony with the checkbook open. And not only do you get a fat incentive from Sony that can help further develop your game, but then, you know, when Sony's invested in something, they're going to help you out. They're going to help you put that shit together, like how they sent all those technicians over to Callisto Protocol to try to, you know, get that better, even though that wasn't exclusive. But they just did that because it was important for them to have Callisto Protocol perform better on PlayStation, because it looks so damn good. So they did that. And so if you're exclusive, you know you're going to get the red carpet treatment from Sony. And when you get that red carpet treatment from Sony, because it's exclusive, you know, your game that maybe, you know, you would have sold close to 1 million, you're going to get a couple million. I get 5, who knows? And you got a fat check from Sony. Look at the makers of Stellar Blade. The makers of Stellar Blade, before they signed with Sony, they were looking to go public in Korea. And they couldn't do it because people were like, you're going to make a AAA game and you don't have AAA experience. You're just a mobile developer, and you might be biting off more than you can chew. In comes Sony. Sony swoops in, invests in the game for it to be a timed exclusive. The game comes out, it gets hella praise, and it does pretty well on the PlayStation console. Everybody was running to shift up. Oh, you going public? And now they were able to go public. Now I know goofy people like, oh, they only sold 3 million or what, Stop it. You guys are such haters of what PlayStation does from a holistic view that if they don't break the glass ceiling with every game, if they don't break, if every game doesn't sell 10 million, then the next one sells 12 million, the next sells 15 million, then it's a flop, even though it's exclusive and its purpose is to draw you to the platform. So when you lose all that and dumping your console sales for this cloud experience that, again, it's only servicing to a niche group. The average gamer does not want to go and say, ooh, let me give up my stable, better looking, better performing native experience for this half-ass cloud experience. No, nobody's doing that. And my wife is not, I'm sorry, my wife, my grandkids, nobody's flipping through saying, hey, Pat, hey, honey, instead of watching Deadpool that's now released on Disney Plus, let's go play some fucking Starfield. My wife is nobody's doing that in 2024 on their Fire TV. 5, 6, 7 years from now, like if you guys watched Westworld, and remember in the last season of Westworld where it was like years in the future where instead of watching TV, people played games. Yeah, in the future, you might have people that do that to where games become the main consumption entertainment over TV. That may happen in the future. That's not today. Nobody comes home that normally doesn't do this, makes dinner, and then says, oh, what a tiring day. Oh, God. Maybe I can just relax if I play me some Phantom Dust with the original assets. Nobody's doing that. So these gamers that Xbox is hoping to take advantage of outside of the mobile gamer, they don't exist. And the mobile gamer, you just make mobile games for them. There's not going to be crossover appeal. You're not going to have someone that's playing Candy Crush that all of a sudden wants to play fucking Redfall. It's not going to happen. It's too segmented. It's serving two totally different demographics. So Xbox is helping to flip gamers that are outside of their demographic. Okay, I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. It's possible, but how are you doing this? You're going to do this with Redfall? You're going to do that with Hellblade? And Cold Blood, now I'm starting to see it. Now I see why games like Indiana Jones and shit lack severity in gameplay. You're gonna do that with Hellblade, and Hellblade are lacking severity in gameplay. You think you're gonna do that with Hellblade? Huh? Is that the goal? Is that what you're thinking? Because on my Fire TV right now, I turn on Hulu to go watch something. Y'all got Indiana Jones advertisements all over the place. Nobody's picking it up.
Bro, they actually advertised Indiana Jones on the Battle.net launcher.
Yeah.
Where the game does not even exist.
It's not crazy.
Crazy. Oh shit! Somebody just sent me a tag. They were like, "Broomstick is at it again."
Hell yeah! Oh, that always makes my day.
Hold on, before we get into this here. Oh shit, let's see this. Oh God. Shout out to Soldier for Life 504. All right, we got to hear this shit. Boomstick is at it again. It says, okay, hold on. The caption is, Xbox fanboy Boomstick turns his back on Tim Dog and says that he is a liar. Even after Tim Dog was right about everything that he said with Xbox going third party. Shake my head, these delusional Xbox fans have lost their mind. J-Dub, did you see this? Oh man, this is crazy. Here we go. Oh man. Hold on. Let me not like it on that account. I'm gonna like it here on the MM2K account. This is wild. Holy shit. Okay, let's get into it. That's probably why my phone is buzzing, because they probably showed Tim. All right, here it goes.
Finn drops a additional two $5 super chats. The first one he says, Tim Dog heard from a source Xbox hardware is in doubt. They might back out and go full third party sooner than expected. Look, here's the thing. Tim Dog is always going to be Tim Dog, and I don't believe anything that he said. Not because I don't like Tim. I have his personal cell phone number, and we used to talk on a regular basis. He is, again, who to hear from? I don't know. Go back to, let's just be sensible. Finn drops a additional two.
Okay. I gotta fuck with Tim. Hold on. I tell you guys. Let me fuck with Tim. Did he send me a message? Oh no. He didn't. I thought he sent me a message. Hey, yeah. he gotta come on the show. and answer this blasphemy. Hey yo, let me tell you something.
I could see his answer. He probably gonna say fuck him.
Hey yo. Oh shit. Hey yo, Tim. Hey yo, Tim. Yes, it Tim. But you getting called out, money. You just got called out, bro. Oh, bro. Oh shit. He said, I gotta hear that again. Hey yo. He called Tim a liar. See, I don't believe anything that he says. Hold on,
Finn drops a additional two $5 super chats. The first one he says, Tim Dog heard from a source Xbox hardware is in doubt. They might back out and go full third party sooner than expected. Look, here's the thing. Tim Dog is always going to be Tim Dog, and I don't believe anything that he said. Not because I don't like Tim. I have his personal cell phone number, and we used to talk on a regular basis. He is, again, who to hear from? I don't know. Go back to, let's just be sensible. Finn drops a additional. Oh my God.
I want to say this. Here's why, and I know this from experience, because I know this from me being a major voice for the Stadia platform, right? The only one pretty much on the mainstream scene. And there were interests within that company that would float shit to me, right? Now, I do executive conversations and back and forth for a living. Not so much more now than I did a few years ago. So I would know, I knew the difference between propaganda. Oh. Right. Christ, woman. I knew the difference between propaganda and the difference between something that was authentic. Like I had propaganda sent to me regularly, and a lot of it I ignored. But then there was an entity that was sending me stuff like, look, this is going to be a step in the right direction. We're now doing this and we're trying to enhance the platform and this, that, and the other. And I sat on it for a little bit, and they saw that I was sitting on it, and they was like, okay, well, apparently you don't believe me. Here goes some conversations that I'm having with people about this. And when I saw the conversations, I was like, okay, now I can move forward with this. There were two types of people that forward you information when it comes to them being associated to these companies. Person one is the person that wants that attaboy. They're just a fanboy, and they just want to be connected. They just want to sniff Phil Spencer's trousers, right? They want to laminate his jock strap and wear it around their neck. That's all they want to do. They just want to be on the inside. We've seen that a lot from Jazz Gordon until, again, they make him look foolish, and then he has to come out and act like he's mad, right? Then there are people like how I described what I had to do. The latter describes Tim Dog. Right now, because Tim realized that. Hold on one second. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, there are some people that, like in Tim's case, Tim, and again, like, all right, say who was the head of state, Phil Harrison. Say if Phil Harrison, me and Phil Harrison was on a call basis, right? And I was explaining this to Cold Blood earlier. A lot of you guys weren't around during this time, but the way Phil hit the scene and the way there's even insiders or people connected to Phil is when Phil first came on the scene, like the console war, particularly on Twitter, wasn't as severe as it was. Like you had people beefing or whatever here and there or whatever, but they didn't get as nasty as they did. You know what I mean? It was just people were respectful to their favorite console maker, and they just talked shit on the other side. And it was during this time that, you know, the console movement on Twitter was small, and the YouTube scene just started to pick up. So it was around this time that Phil Spencer decided, he said, hey, look, this might be a fruitful thing for us to get into. And he started talking to people like Phil and Rand, you know what I'm saying? And a bunch, Southbound. Like these are names that you guys probably don't know outside of Tim and Rand. Southbound. I forgot the other guy's name. There was a bunch of people that they would conversate with, that Phil would conversate. He would play games with these people, Megatron, you know what I'm saying? Because back then it was easy, or it wasn't such a hostile scene for these game people to go and talk to other gamers. You know, there wasn't breaking news here from IGN and all this. It wasn't all this drama and this breaking news stuff like that. Everything was like real folksy. When the execs weren't as big as they are now, they were just execs of a game company. So it wasn't a big deal. There wasn't things that an exec could say that could be so controversial that would light up all the IGN and, you know what I'm saying, and VGC, which wasn't around back then, you know, but it wouldn't light up these boards all like that. It wasn't like the news wasn't as heavy and as constant. It wasn't such a big eye on everything gaming back then like there is now, right? So imagine in an atmosphere like that, you are on a first name basis, you're talking and rapping with the guy that runs Xbox, kind of like if I was on a first name basis with Phil Harrison of Stadia. You know what I'm saying? And we build a rapport. Now, I understand that there are some things that you can't tell me, but I feel like that at least, you know, from an honest perspective, you're giving me a general gist of the direction that you're headed in. You know what I'm saying? Like if, for instance, if I was cool with Phil Harrison, look, if Stadia is closing down, for instance, you know, and that's becoming a possibility, I would feel like that Phil Harrison, especially after, we're talking about years, like these motherfuckers, Phil and Tim were so cool. Phil was at a bar or something like that for some type of project. Tim happened to be driving in the area and they met up and had drinks, took a couple pictures, had drinks, and Tim posted one of the pictures on the internet. That's how cool these were. So this wasn't, you know what I'm saying? This wasn't a parasocial relationship. These guys ended up becoming friends. It just so happened that the thing that bonded them together was Xbox. The guy was in charge of Xbox. The other guy was a fan of Xbox, but they built a friendship. Now, again, of course, you got to recognize Phil Spencer can't tell you everything, but if you're going to get something on this realm, knowing how loyal Tim was, or in my situation with a Phil Harrison, knowing how loyal I would have been with a Phil Harrison, if something like this is happening, I wouldn't expect Phil Harrison to hit me up and be like, oh man, yeah, I know there's those rumors. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of baloney. We're full speed ahead. And then the next thing I know, I find out that the complete opposite of what you told me done happened. Where, you know, where at the very least, we're friends. You know I wouldn't throw you under the fucking bus. If that's happening, I'm just going to step back and keep my mouth shut and maybe say something later. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to fuck you up too. Because if I leak it out, they're going to pin it to you. You know what I'm saying? So I might have to step back a little bit, wait for the bomb to drop, and then speak on it after the fact. Because we're friends, I'm not going to fuck you up, right? That's what I think that's what Tim was expecting. See, people think that this was some parasocial relationship between Phil and Tim. No. These motherfuckers, they were friends. They were cool. That would be like, okay, so MM2K Gaming is a quasi business, right? We don't have much activity, but you know, put some business stuff behind it because my taxes is already too high anyway. I can't afford any more fucking tax. They did another county assessment and our home tax is going up again. Tired of this fucking shit. Anyway, it's quasi business. But Cold Blood is my brother, right? But say for instance, so Cold Blood is like we became friends because of this. But we're friends now. Regardless of how we became friends, we're friends. Say, for instance, if somebody comes to me and they're like, you know what, Moss, we like you, but that Cold Blood, he's too authentic. He says stuff the way that it is. We don't want you to be that authentic. We want you. We got this new product called Dookie-tron 2000. It's a new console coming out, Dookie-tron 2000. Literally, someone shit on a stick, put an HDMI port in it, and we want you to speak up for it. And if he can't do that, then he can't be on the channel anymore. And I agree to that. And I never talked to Cold Blood about it. One day we go live on the air, And I'm like, there's Dookie Tron 2000, da, da, da. And I'm talking about it, and Coldblood's like, hold on, what is this shit? It's literally shit. And he goes on the spill, and then I'm like, Coldblood, oh, this ain't gonna work, man. You can't be shitting on Dookie Tron 2000. I'm sorry, man. You have a great one. Coldblood would be like, whoa, hold on. You gonna do that to me? Right? So I know a lot of you are like, oh, Tim was a dummy. Tim was this, but no, there was a friendship established behind that. And just regardless of however they became friends, there's now a code behind that. Right? There's a code behind that. And if you have any morals to you, you don't do your friends like that. Again, it's a tightrope you got to balance. But because it's your friend, it's worth you balancing it. Tim, you might want to fall back a little bit, bro. Just fall back, man. I can't say no more. My friend, I love you. But just fall back, bro. Take some time off, do something with the family. Just fall back. That's it. That's all he wanted. You understand what I'm saying? Juice said Dookie Town 1000 was a 10 out of 10 game. Wink, wink. Sounds better than any. They said Dookie Town 2000 sounds better than anything on Xbox right now. But y'all get my drift, right? Me and Coldblood just we just ain't on the chain. This is my bro. When I got free time, we're going back and forth and talking. If I were to do something like that, that would be the sleaziest fucking shit ever. So I hope that puts into perspective what happened here. And they were friends for years. They weren't. This wasn't a parasocial thing where he just got some marching orders. This was his buddy. This was his friend. They talked regularly. So I just hope people understand that. So now looking at the situation, and yet were there times where maybe there were some goofy shit that happened and maybe it wasn't the best idea and Phil fucked something up, but he made an excuse for his friend? Yeah, he admitted to that. He did. But he did it out of the belief system that, he was going to do some shit to actually help the Xbox brand. And that he was being honest with him about it. Because I feel like they could have still been friends had Phil just, Tim, bro, you got to fall back, man. That's all I can tell you, bro. I love you. You got to fall back, man. Just do something. Just disappear for a little bit and fall back. They still would have been friends. And Tim would have just simply said, yeah, you know what? Best of luck to Xbox. I was looking for something different. Best of luck to Phil. I just got to fall back. That's it. I don't think you would have seen the veracity of what Tim did or said if that trust wasn't betrayed. But see, a lot of you guys that are on the Xbox side, y'all can't relate to that. Why can't y'all relate to it? Because you have parasocial relationships. You have wet dreams of Phil. You guys are on some weird shit about this dude, where Tim authentically had a relationship with this guy. He said, is that what happened with the Diller podcast? No. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on with Diller. Don't near. I've heard a lot of shit, but I don't near. I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that. All right. Let's look at this article, y'all. It says exclusive Xbox consoles will be the exception rather than a rule moving forward inside the risky strategy that will define Xbox's next decade. Microsoft's strategy has Xbox core fans upset about the future of console hardware. Today, we're looking to analyze that strategy that will define Xbox over the next decade and settle its future once and for all. 2024 will be remembered as a pivotal year, not only for Xbox, but the game industry at large. With game industry growth stagnant at best and costs rising faster than ever, many of the alarm bells were being rung years ago that AAA gaming was unsustainable. Blah, blah, blah. Anybody trying to shit, man. You're feeling that more than Xbox right now. Xbox has thousands of layoffs. All right, well, can we get to after the Game Awards this year, Microsoft previously confirmed exclusives. The Outer Worlds 2 was revealed for PlayStation, which reveals the next phase of Microsoft's gaming content strategy, codenamed Latitude, with comments from Phil Spencer describing how there are no red lines for what games could come to PlayStation. It's time to accept that Xbox will no longer have console exclusives moving forward. Everything will either be timed with a few outliers remaining console exclusive for incidental reasons like developer bandwidth, and so even Halo, Forza, and Gears of War, games commonly associated with the Xbox brand, are not off the table. Why is this a big deal? Is it even a big deal? Why is Microsoft doing in the first place? Without exclusives, where does that leave Xbox console hardware? Let's analyze. Coming out of the pandemic, gaming engagement is largely flat. And I'm not trying to hear this dog dumb shit from him. I just want to know what they're going to do. It says, since Xbox is on the lowest rung of the ladder compared to Nintendo and PlayStation, Xbox is feeling the pinch of the floodwaters first, which explains some of its recent decisions. Microsoft states that it's seeing record users on Xbox consoles and direct legally binding comments to its shareholders. Microsoft could be sued by the... Look, stop it. Stop it. Microsoft is accounting for MAUs. They're accounting for MAUs off of their older consoles. Of course, whenever you release a new console, regardless of how shitty it is, that's going to grow your lifetime users. It's going to grow your lifetime users. So to simply say we're seeing more than ever, duh. It's always going to grow. Like, can we stop the dumb shit? Now, it may grow by 1 or 2. It depends. How much is it growing? And is your current business significant to what your competitors are doing? So this is why I can't stand. Just tell me what the fuck it is that they're doing. But fans like Microsoft predict and react to a projected future. If Xbox isn't growing, then developers could one day abandon the platform in bigger numbers. And if developers abandon the platform, then you could see exciting games you want missing the platform. If people start feeling they can't rely on Xbox for most content, then why stay? If people leave, then why would developers stay? Death spiral, etc. The bulk of Xbox's income. Okay, so here we go. It's like I told you guys. The bulk of Xbox's income today comes from Xbox console. Period. 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 Whether it's games, sales, microtransactions. Here, I gotta highlight this shit. Period. The bulk of Xbox's income today comes from the Xbox console. Whether it's games, sales, microtransactions, or services like Xbox Game Pass, the dilemma revolves around growth and staying ahead of rising costs. I'm going to read this to you motherfuckers one more time, because before I even saw this, what did I just tell you? The majority of Xbox income comes from the console. Did we not just talk about that? Yes, we fucking did. And guess what you guys probably, no, the Game Pass, the $2 billion, the Game Pass. Stop it. Let's continue. In order to find new sources of revenue and stay ahead of rising costs, Microsoft began putting its games on PC as far as back as Quantum Break's launch almost 10 years ago. Despite being in third place, the strategy has served them well. How? I want to know how it served them well, because shout out to Nib. Nib put out data that showed since they started doing this strategy, they've had the lowest margin, or they had the lowest revenue growth out of them PlayStation and Nintendo. That didn't change until they bought ABK. That was and that was because of a purchase. So this didn't service them well. This was you got to be very careful when you're reading Jez content, because when he can't back something up, he just throws innuendo out there. Microsoft has been incredibly adept at monetizing the Xbox business, despite repeating disasters and missteps. The Xbox One messaging nightmare came close to killing the brand, not to mention the red ring of death back in the 360 days. I'm going to tell you this much right here. Stop. How old is this dude? Was this dude like 3 at the time? The red ring of death had, believe it or not, the red ring of death had no effect on the Xbox. Was so fucking popular, and people felt like that the PlayStation 3 was so unattainable with its price. And then the conversations about how the multiplats performed on it. In the States, the most feasible option by a mile at the time that the red ring of death happened, like Xbox by a mile, was the most feasible option, particularly in the States, that the red ring of death had no impact. How do we know it had no impact? Look at the game sales. People just simply, they either went to YouTube and found a quick remedy. Remember wrapping your 360 in a towel, letting it overheat or whatever, and then it would stop. And basically what the red ring of death was it had something to do with the CD laser sensor, because I used to fix them as a side business. If you took it apart and wiped down where the sensor was at and wiped that bar off, that would get rid of the red ring of death temporarily till it came. It was something faulty with the laser sensor that was in there, and some of the glue that was in there. Well, no, that was the PlayStation's problem. PlayStation, they had the yellow lights of death is what the PlayStation had, and the yellow lights of death, their problem was their glue. Was the glue in with around their laser. I used to fix both of them and made an incredible business doing so. Anyway, the red ring of death had no bearing on the success of the 360. That's how incredibly popular the 360 was. And that was crazy. The Xbox Series X and S had to navigate COVID-19 and also the enormous chip shortage that prevented it from getting consoles out fast enough to the start, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and indeed, therein lies the scrutiny right now. Xbox went from being a well-funded startup with Microsoft to being bigger than Windows itself. It is only bigger than Windows itself because of ABK. Let's stop this foolery. Investors are now actively auditing what Microsoft is doing with that massive cash injection it sent over to Activision Blizzard. Imagine if Call of Duty Black Ops 6 had been a huge flop instead of a massive success story, particularly as Google, whatever. You can never get a straight line from this dude. He's always got to make some type of crazy excuse. Let's see, the Outer Worlds 2 was announced for play. Okay, so Microsoft considers the bulk of those younger Gen Alpha and Gen Z users I mentioned earlier are graduating from iPad and Nintendo Switch all the way to mobile PC. Microsoft is reacting to the trend early by talking about putting Steam and Epic Game stores into the future Xbox consoles. It's reacting to this by investing a huge amount into improving Windows gaming performance, as well as its usability on devices like Asus ROG Ally and Lenovo Legion Go. Microsoft is also known to be building its own Xbox handheld. Sources tell us that Microsoft is also working on a set of in-game APIs and user interface features called Project Rainway, which is some form of cross-platform Xbox guide menu. Microsoft has been inspired by the in-game battle.net social feature seen in Hearthstone, Diablo 4, and World of Warcraft, which lets you share and communicate cross-platform. This means that for games running on other platforms from Xbox, they will still have an Xbox flavor in-game Xbox system, maybe even cloud saves. Indiana Jones on Steam, for example, supports Xbox cloud saves. Diablo 4 keeps your progression no matter what platform you're on, too. Microsoft wants to extend that to all its games, and that's what Microsoft ultimately means with its marketing campaign. This is an Xbox. Every Xbox game itself will become an Xbox if this Rainway project reaches fruition. The strategy is, of course, with risks. Now let's hear what his risks are. Microsoft is a data-driven, telemetry-obsessed company. There's a desire. This is why you often see things fall fast. You know what? I ain't got time for it. Anyway, there were some good points in there about taking your games with you and stuff like that, but overall, there's a lot of fluff in there. Go take your time, check that out. Here's what I say, and then we'll close out with what Cold Blood's thoughts. I think Satya, it's like what I was saying before. This is my opinion. I think Satya has decided to take the rings or take the keys from Phil. I do believe that even though Sarah Bond reports to Phil, I believe Sarah Bond has maybe more influence than Phil at this moment as far as what they're going to do next. I feel like Xbox is split into two teams. Team one is pro Phil. The pro Phil team is the team that leaked that information to Tom Warren about Sarah risking her business on this. Team two is pro Satya. And it's probably mainly the execs that are there. I think that Xbox ecosystem stuff will fail altogether, and they're just going to be a publisher. I don't know what that means for the lifespan of the cloud. I just don't know. Because again, the cloud means nothing until they improve the quality. And if they don't improve the quality, they don't have a great chance of building consumers. And if they don't have a great chance of building consumers, people are just going to simply say, why would I make a game for Xbox? What's the point? So that's my thought at the end of the day. At the end of the day, regardless of if it's Sarah Bond trying to do something or Phil's wing trying to do something, it's only going to result in them becoming a publisher. And it's only going to result in that because they're not focused on quality. Can we call, Chris says, can we just call the pro Satya team? Can we call it the pro money team? No, MAU will not transfer the profit though, Cree. Absolutely right. But here's what we got to understand. Satya knows that. They know that. Phil knows that. That's just smoke and mirrors to the investors, and that's smoke and mirror to these glazing fanboys. But they know that. When it comes to the investors, the glazing fanboys don't know any better. They don't know their left hand from their right ass cheek. They don't know. But the way it works on the investors is they present it to the investors like, hey, we got all these MAUs, we got all these people that are using our games, and it's going to only continue to grow, and it's going to bring us more money. So they tantalize them with that. Hey, look at this big number, and then they're sitting there saying, oh, well, if you guys can keep showing this growth of this number, yeah, eventually you might become number one, right? But then all that does is kick the can down the road even further, because they tantalize investors with this big money, this big number, that they can make it seem like it's showing some rapid growth. And then when that hits a wall, then Microsoft just tries to find another number. And then these analysts that are not sharp enough to understand the rope-a-dope that they're being put through, they fall for it all over again. That's why Sony's trying to get sign-ins on PC, because now they got to play the monthly active users game, because Microsoft was so effective at tantalizing the investors with it. But it's like you said, Cree. It's just smoke and mirrors. At the end of the day, it's going to be a number that they throw out there that's going to see some temporary growth, and then it hits a flat wall, and then they just find another metric. That's what a lot, and it's not just Microsoft. Nobody does it at the rate that Microsoft does, particularly when it comes to Xbox. But all these execs, they just look for metrics to throw at investors to make a dish look prettier. That's it. That's all it is. Phil asked for money outside of Xbox budget. You can't ask for Pops his money and not pay it back. And it says they replaced the free and counted the replacements. That's why it seemed it fell off. And I ran a GameStop during that time. We had 360s to the ceiling from trades towards PS3s. Now, Old Man Gaming, I can tell you first and foremost, again, I always heard that excuse that, oh no, it's because of the red ring of death. No, because the software sales were off the roof. You may need a new console, but you don't need a new, just because your console malfunction doesn't mean that you need a new, what's it called? That you need a new game. So software sales still prevailed. They still were heavy on their side. Yeah. No, the 360, the red ring of death. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying nobody traded in their 360 and said, well, let me try PlayStation 3 instead. I'm not saying nobody did that, but it was not in large droves. It was not in large droves at all. Like 360 did not skip a beat. Mugs actually either shipped their console in or wrapped it in towels. You know what I mean? To get to try to get it to work temporarily until wrapping it in towels didn't work anymore. Oh yeah. All right. Cold Blood, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
You heard that another game is going to be delayed for Xbox.
Oh, which game is that?
Well, we don't know exactly which game, but Pure Xbox is speculating that it's Perfect Dark.
Oh God.
You know what that means?
Oh, you think it's coming to PlayStation 2?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's way too
coincidental. Yeah. You know what? I heard Cold Blood somewhere that people were saying that, I don't know where, I don't know if you heard this, but people were saying that Xbox internally was saying that making Hellblade exclusive was a mistake, and they don't want to do it. They don't want to do exclusives anymore.
Yeah, that's what I sent you on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I could have told you that the moment it was announced as an exclusive for Xbox. It was a mistake. Like, now that everybody knows the game is no better than the first one at all, and even shorter.
Yep.
Bruh, even if you put it on PlayStation, you ain't getting much sales at all.
Yep.
That's why, in my opinion, Satya should have fired that motherfucker a long time ago.
Yeah, I think so.
His decisions are just totally stupid.
Yeah.
A game like Halo, fuck no, absolutely not. Yes, I'm with the bots on that. Like, if you put Halo on a PlayStation, then what the fuck?
Yeah.
But Hellblade, you said it yourself, legacy games. Hellblade is a legacy game. It's a fucking multiplayer. Why didn't you release it for everybody?
Yep.
At least you could have hoped that you might get 500k more sales with that shit.
Yeah.
Now you can maybe hope for 10k at best.
Yeah. I mean, I'm even down with the best or better or first strategy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's a 6-month exclusive, or if there's like DLC that comes with the game on Xbox that you got to pay for on PlayStation or something, I'm okay with that. You know, that's fine. But to try to not put it on a console at all, it's not like I want to play store. You know, it's stupid. It was just utterly stupid. Utterly stupid. So.
Satya and Amy Hood should really look at Phil's achievements and really think about if he even deserves to have a fucking salary that high that he has. Like, what did he do the last 10 years? I mean, he gave away money left and right for dog shit.
Yep.
Didn't amount to nothing. Now he is over 70 billions in fucking debt.
Yep.
Like, come on, bro. I mean, that he has that job is a fucking miracle.
Bruh, I think and that says a lot about Satya on how maybe sensitive he is. Like, anybody that I feel like gave him any pushback. Hold on one second. Anybody that it feels like that was not just going to roll over and grab the ankles, he didn't want anything to do with. So that says something about him, because all Phil did, people make it seem like that Phil stomped in his office and you're going to do this and you're going to no, like anything that was successful from Xbox, which was the acquisition of Minecraft, the fact that they finally started making money, that's because Satya crafted the Minecraft deal, and Satya cut the funding and said, we're going to, sell. And then I guess the controllers were worth the money, because you remember Xbox had 90 billion controllers. Remember they were selling them all the time? Like, that's Satya. Wasn't Phil. Phil didn't come in with some major gaming strategy and make Satya go, oh no, that's great. That's great. Let's do that. No. Yeah. Yeah. Well, be interesting to see. It's going to be a very tear-filled week. You're going to see a lot of tears. But one thing I will not settle for or accept is the people claiming victim. I absolutely do not accept people claiming victim here. You are not a victim. You are willingly implicit.
Brother.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. The moment Tim Dog left, if you didn't leave with him,
mm-hmm.
that's when you can't claim victim anymore.
Mm-hmm. He left. Tim Dog of all people left. Tim of all people left. Tim Dog of all people left. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm not suggesting my brother Tim Dog was in some relationship with Phil, but that would be like if Lois Lane started running down the street. Oh my God, this Superman, he's turned into a mass murderer. He's a crazy lunatic. And you see Superman walking down the street. Your thoughts should be, I'm gonna run the fuck out of here because he's not going to punch my head off, right? Or you just gonna sit there, oh Lois, get out of here. You're crazy. Hey Superman, here I am right here. And then he punches your head off. Yeah, it's just, look, man, I don't have any sympathy for you. If you are here every day on Twitter, if you're arguing every day like that Snap Blast play, and you know what I mean, and you were sitting there spreading their propaganda, like Cold Blood said after Tim Dog left, and you want to sit here and cry crocodile tears, I don't care. I truly don't care. Just go away. You know what I'm saying? Just go. Your services have been recognized, but now it's over. Just fucking go away, please. Please. All right, we're gonna get out of here.
Wait, you won't address the chat?
No, because we pretty much covered what they had, except for Old Man Gaming Guru, who was talking about the consoles. Satya Nadella. I will tell you this. Yeah, those console sales came at a time to where that console wasn't even relevant anymore, and PlayStation always has a longer lifespan because you'll have situations where third world countries or lesser developed countries, like now how we're gaming on the PlayStation 5, you have countries that are just now, you know, dealing with the PlayStation 4. So they always have longer shelf lives and shit like that, right? Yeah, you just gotta look at the game sales. That's what the consoles are sold for. And the game sales tell the tale. Yeah, oh yeah. Because we were buying games left and right, man. It was just a joy. Like I gamed the most on the 360. That's the most I've ever gamed. And I think one of the catalysts of that Cree was Gamefly. Gamefly was booming then. So I always had a rotation of 5 games in my lap all the time. And I was just beating games left and like that's the most gaming I've ever done was during the 360 era. So yeah, that's why there was a high attach rate. Like you had things like Gamefly, especially, and I think it really started booming, you know, after BioShock came out. Like that's when it really started to catapult because of Gamefly. I know somebody that worked at GameFly. That's how, when a game, like motherfuckers would be mad. Like, how'd you get that game early? Because GameFly would ship out your game early. And what I would do is I had worked with somebody because there was a facility in Pittsburgh, and I knew somebody that worked at that facility in Pittsburgh. And what they would do is actually take my game, meet me downstairs while I was on the smoke break. When I used to smoke, I'd be on the smoke break and meet me. The facility was right around the corner from my job. Meet me right there on the corner, hand me my game. They would scan it like they sent it out and all of this stuff. And I was good to go. Yeah, bro, I was good to go. Yes, I would always get my games like a day early and shit. So yeah, GameFly was huge back then. And a lot of people had a lot of games in their rotation because of it. Shout out to Chariot Man Gaming in the chat. All right. We're gonna get out of here. Shout out to Geek to Sneak. Phil Spencer needs to go. Yeah, he does. He should have been going Ice Queen. But now people are learning. Now instead of us just being haters, like I don't even want an apology. You guys ain't gotta apologize to me at all. I don't even want it. I just want it. I mean, what do you guys got to say to people like Mag? Are you guys going to do the honorable thing and say, you know what, Mag, maybe I took a little bit too far. Maybe I took what you said, as being disingenuous and I wasn't being real. But, my bad, man. You was just trying to look out for us. Or y'all going to go to Tim and do the same thing? Yeah, I don't even want y'all's apology. Don't apologize to me. I actually get off on making fun of y'all now. So no, I don't deserve your apology. I don't want your apology. But maybe you can go to Tim. You can go to Mag. My bad, bro. I got a little worked up into this. I don't know why I got so emotional in this, but you were trying to look out for us, man. Thanks, man. We appreciate it. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Appreciate everybody. Thank you guys so much. Oh, let me end this poll real quick too. We're going to end the poll. We got 61 votes. Let's see what the results are. The GameFly is still going, I know, but it just ain't hitting like it used to. It's a little, I mean, yeah, you can still get it, but I don't know. I'm more of a digital guy now. Well, I have a digital system anyway, so GameFly ain't gonna do jack shit for me. But I'm more of a digital guy now. So GameFly doesn't even want to do it for your boy. All right, let me see. I gotta refresh because it's not showing me the. Okay, it says, do you think Xbox going third party is new info or old news? 91% of you said we knew this last year. 8% of you said shocked. This is new info. All right, y'all. Appreciate it. Till next time, we are out of here. Peace.